Hey guys, welcome back to Urban's Revamped. This video, we're going to show you our 3-month review on using the Navage. How does it work? How easy is it to use? How much does it cost? And the biggest one is it worth buying the Navage?
All right, let's kick it off with why we decided to try the Navage. For me personally, I clean houses for a living. So I was dealing with pet dander, allergens, dust. I was coming home every day with itchy eyes, sore throat, sneezing, coughing, all that stuff. And I was just sick of it. I was miserable.
This outside, this is what I love. I love to be outside. The problem is we're in that season, which is pretty much like 9 months a year where these trees are pushing out their pollens, their molds, and the wind comes and this stuff goes everywhere. And once it gets in here, it's like game on, man. The itchy eyes comes, the sneezing comes, the stuffy nose comes, and it's literally can make you miserable. So like summer, I'm like constantly taking over-the-counter medication. I've been on allergy medicine for years and years and years. And you don't want to be on meds any more than you have to, especially when you get into nasal sprays. You start depending on these I seriously think I gotta sneeze right now. All right. It passed. So we've been out walking around all afternoon and we're ready to go home, get ready to go out and have some dinner somewhere. But before we get ready, we're gonna run you guys through what we do when we use the Navage, how it works, how we put it together, how it actually functions. I know we did a video when we first got the Navage and I think it was a little extreme.
Jay was dramatic.
It's intimidating when you get something new and the machine blasts water through your nasal cavity. You're not used to that. You don't know what to expect. But let me tell you now, I feel like it's like brushing your teeth, right?
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right, so let's go home. We'll give them the rundown on it. This is super, super easy to use.
If I could do it, anyone could do it.
Sure, true.
You're not supposed to agree.
This is it. This is the Navage. It's really not too big. Roughly could fit in your hand. I just noticed that my teal shirt probably matches this thing, so I hope you guys can see it okay. So there's only a few components to this. The reservoir tank, which is like what collects all the waste. This is where the water actually comes in and out of your nostrils. And when you start the Navage, you fill it up to this line. It's roughly about 8 ounces of water goes in here. In the top, right here, this is the spot where you take the Saline pod, which is a Navage Saline pod they call it, insert it inside, press down firmly, and now it'll mix that saline solution with your water. On the other side, this is the actual button that activates the pump. So once it's in your nose and you're in position, you push the button, it'll start to circulate the saline and water solution through your nasal cavity, in one, out the other. And the cool thing about this is if you're not getting the right proper flow through in and out, you can rotate this and try it going the reverse, the opposite way. So there's arrows on here that'll let you know which way the flow's going, which is nice. And this piece pops off, which is something that is super huge because these are interchangeable. You can buy one. And Summer and I, when we first bought the Navage, we only had one of these. And not that it's like super gross, but it's still pretty gross to keep putting the same someone else's pod or someone else's, they call them pillows, in your nose. So it's like $9.99. I think you can get the other piece so that you each have your own nose piece. And we'll throw a link in the description. So if you guys want to look at some of the stuff that you can get with the Navage, check it out. We'll have it down there. But that's it. I'm going to kick it over to Summer. She's going to actually do a demo and assemble this thing. Because every time after we're done with it, obviously you take it apart, rinse it out, clean it, let it dry. So we'll start from scratch. I'll give it to her. She'll show you guys how to put it together, how to fill it up, and whatever other stuff I might have missed. And then she's going to give it a shot and show you how easy this thing is.
All right, guys. I'm going to get this demo started. I love this coffee table, first of all. So, top piece where you pour the water in clicks on to the middle piece, and then you have the water reservoir, which is where the waste goes, clicks right into the bottom. Super simple. The nose pillow, as Jay calls it, I think that's officially what it's called, but I hate that word. I don't know why. For me, doesn't matter which way the flow goes, but like Jay said, you could do it either way. Clicks on real easy. And then here, the top, that's where you pour the water in. Like he said, there's a little fill line. I room temperatured this. I don't really do it warm or cold. I just make it room temperature. Pour that in. Get it right to the fill line. All right. And then these are the salt or saline pods, whatever you want to call it. I think they call it both. Got this little ridge here that goes up on the top here. Okay. Sets in evenly, and Gotta make sure you push it all the way down, it clicks in, and you're ready to go. So just so you know, the SaltPod has to be in for this to work. There's a little button, I guess you can call it, where the SaltPod hits that engages it to make it work. So the SaltPod has to be in there. Now the SaltPod has mixed with the water. You're all set to go. I always do this wrong and I pull the Navage away too quickly and the water comes out of my nose. If you keep it pressed up long enough, there should be no water when you're done. Just in case, I always grab a towel. You wanna make sure you don't push these up too far into your nose or it's gonna block your nose. It's gonna make it so that there's no flow. But you also need to make a seal. So press gently, but make sure there's a seal. All right, and then you see the button on the side. Fit the pillows into your nose and push. Oh, I did it right that time. I didn't have a perfect seal at the beginning though, so a little came out, but wow, I think that's the first time that I didn't have a bunch of stuff pouring out of me. Then you can see all the little floaty stuff in there. It's kind of gross.
Summer killed it on that one. Usually, I don't know why, but she makes a big mess all over the place. But really, if you let that thing run till it's empty and you pull it away, there might be a drip or two of water, but for the most part, it's pretty clean. I would still do it over the sink or something like that. But all right, so on to the costs of this thing. The Navage itself, you can find on Amazon for about $100, usually give or take $5. Really not bad. It comes with batteries already in it. It comes with one of the nose pieces, and it comes with some cleaning utensils, and that's it. Totally enough to get you started, and it comes with one 30-pack box of the saline pods. But when you need to get your refills, usually comes in a pack of 3 boxes, 30 per box, so you get about 90. It's usually around 35, 40 bucks. So each pod comes out to about 40 cents each use. And I personally, and I think Summer for the most part too, probably do like 1 flush a day. So it's really not too bad. There is a hack to it. So when the Navage was designed, it was designed to pretty much have to use these Navage pods. Like Summer talked about, there's a little button on the inside that the Navage, like saline pod, compresses into, and if it doesn't compress that button, then the motor won't start. So the hack that we found looking around was these little silicone tabs. You can get them for, I don't know, I think they come in 15, 16 packs, and they're roughly about $1 a piece, and you can reuse them. So if you get them, the directions are in there. You can insert it inside here, and it will depress that button that the actual Navage saline pod would. So now you're probably wondering, well, what do you put in there? We found these packets online. They're basically powder form saline packets. They're almost like look like a little wet wipe packet. So you dump one packet in with 8 ounces of water, mix it up yourself, pour it in, put the tab in, and now you're in business. And those come out to about 10 cents a piece. So it's up to you. It's a lot easier using the actual Navage saline pods, but if you want to save yourself some money in the long run, you can definitely go with the packs and make it yourself. All this stuff here, we're going to throw a link down in the description, so if you want to look into it or pick it up on your own, definitely go down there, check it out. If this video is answering a lot of the questions you guys have, do us a favor, hit the like button, and if there's some questions that we did not answer, definitely drop them in the comments. But now, we're going to cover, is this thing really worth the purchase?
Looks pretty clean. All right, so now for that time of the video, our honest review. For me, hands down, worth it. I have not touched the medicine cabinet. I have not used any allergy medicine. I'm sure you've still used some, but my allergies are all animal related. I've not touched medication. So for me, it is absolutely worth it. I love it. I think it's amazing.
I would say the same too. I've been taking like prescription allergy medication for probably 15 years.
Yeah.
This is the first spring season in the summer that I have not refilled my prescription.
So it's saving us money on medication right
I think it's not just saving you money, but it's also saving, I mean, you're putting all this medication in your body every day. But small disclaimer, we are not doctors. This is just our personal opinion. And the Navage is like a proactive measure. Like if you're sick and you have like a sinus infection, it might help clear a little bit of the mucus out, but it's not going to make it like go away. So try to do this stuff before your allergy or your sinus cavity is like super aggravated, and it's super beneficial. You just got to stay with it and continue to use it.
And I really want to stress, because we got this comment before about somebody saying that it was a husband and wife and they each had their own machine. Do not spend the money that way. Buy that extra nose piece, because it's $100. It's worth it for the machine, but just spend the $10 on the extra nose piece.
It's like, even though I use your toothbrush all the time.
Ew.
I'm just kidding. I don't really.
I hope not.
No, I don't.
But yeah, buy that extra nose piece. It'll save you. It'll save you. It's good.
I think we covered everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right, cool. Until our next video, we will see you guys later.